I have just been to this auction, which is a monthly sale of collector's items. There were several lots of vinyl records here that I thought were of particular interest. I did buy a few, which I will show in a moment. I did buy here about 2 or 3 years ago, and I always look at the monthly catalogue. Quite often they have records. This was the first occasion where I'd seen from the catalogue a number of titles that looked particularly interesting. So this section includes collectible items, including musical instruments, and towards the end we see the vinyl records. There was a lot here of 27 albums by Jethro Tull, including mono and stereo first pressings of This Was, and some other first pressings, together with 2 CD box sets. This lot sold for £220 hammer. The buyer's premium at this auction house is 25% plus VAT, so the all-in 30% needs to be considered on bidding. There was no interest in this next lot, which was 102 jazz LP albums. The lot opened up at £150. The auctioneer reduced the price down to £50, and it went for a maiden bid online. I was the only bidder in the room, by the way, at this auction house on the vinyl records. Or any other bids were just simply online or left on commission. Next lot was 18 LP records by the Beatles, including 2 pressings of Please Please Me, a number of other first pressings and some reissues, together with 23 LPs by solo band members, including a 1997 first pressing of Flaming Pie. That sold for $240 plus buyer's premium. Did have a quick look at these. I thought some of the vinyl was a little bit scruffy, VG at best, so not for me. There was a job lot here of 60 LP records, quite a lot of Cat Stevens, Elton John, Rod Stewart, including some first pressings of Rod Stewart on Vertigo Swirl. Sold for £220. Too expensive for me for reselling. .147-inch singles. This looked pretty decent. Again, not for me, but somebody got a good bargain there at only £30 plus buyer's premium. The first lot I bought was a lot of Led Zeppelin. 15 LP records and a CD box set. The LPs included first pressings of 3 and 4, and the LPs included versions A to F of sleeve variants of In Through the Outdoor. We'll look at those briefly in a moment. I also bought the following lot, 2587, which was probably a real bargain. 13 LP records by Fleetwood Mac, quite a number of first pressings here, together with a Peter Green solo and a 1977 reissue of Buckingham Nicks. So this lot did cost me £160 plus buyer's premium. So all in, that's £208. Again, we'll look briefly at those in a moment. I also bought the lot after this, which is probably the one that I was, on the face of it, most interested in. 24 LP records, number of first pressings, there are 9 Bowies, and there are others from Roxy Music, Eno, and Nico. There's 9 there. In fact, there are more than 9. There's some on the next page. There's a couple of T-Rex as well. We'll look at those briefly again in a moment. There's a section here of 10 LP records from Jimi Hendrix, including some first pressings of Axis, Bold as Love, and Band of Gypsies. Again, the vinyl was, some of those titles was only VG, so not for me. I think still a decent result though. This next lot was 2 LP records by Nirvana, UK version as they describe it. Story of Simon Simmerpath, mono first pressing, and All of Us, stereo first pressing. That sold for £140 plus buyer's premium. And a lot here of the only 2 LP records made by Tramline. Again, UK first pressings, both on Ireland, the Orange Bullseye label. And there was a decent lot here. Again, I didn't buy this, but it looked a decent lot. 20 LP records, mono first pressing of 40 Blue Fingers, Chicken Jack, and a number of albums from Steamhammer, John Mayall and the Groundhogs. So again, that was a good lot for somebody to buy, I think. Potentially profit on resale and would be great for a collection. So, as I say, I did buy several lots at this auction. The Zeppelins. It's a nice clean copy of 3 with the working wheel. So that is a first pressing, as is 4. Does have the right inner sleeve. Very clean copy of UK first pressing of Physical Graffiti. Again, all with the correct inners. House of the Holy is not a first pressing. It's an early one, but not a first. Little tear to the sleeve there, which is a shame. The vinyl's nice. The vinyl on all of these is VG+, a number of them are excellent. The excellents include Coda, nice clean sleeve. Song remains the same. And there's the 6 copies of In Through the Outdoor, which have the A to F sleeve variations. And there's the 2 album set, London Wavelengths. This is the triple album set, the remasters. Doesn't actually look like these albums have been played. I've taken them out of the sleeve and they seem pretty minty, which is nice. And there's the CD box set, which includes a booklet. Again, the CDs, they're very clean. I don't think they've really even been taken out of the box, possibly not played. The next lot I bought was the Fleetwood Macs. So we do have a first pressing of Mr. Wonderful. That's a nice clean copy. It's about VG plus vinyl. Again, a first pressing. It's on Blue Horizon. Again, about VG plus vinyl. It's about the case with most of these earlier ones. These are all first pressings. This is a nice clean copy. The sleeves very clean, Kiln House. I've never had this before. We're into the Danny Kerwin period here. This is Future Games. For some reason the picture of John McVie is of a penguin. Not sure what that means. You don't see this very often either. Bare trees. It's from 1972. History to me is very clean. I believe all of the records in this lot, as well as the Beatles and the other large lot, were a single owner collection. All of the records were in these thick PVC outer sleeves, which has probably helped keep the sleeves in decent order. A number of the sleeves are VG plus, but they're still pretty good, and a number of the sleeves are actually in excellent condition, including the excellent condition sleeve. There's a Fleetwood Mac. It's still it still has the shrink on the outside, but it's actually kept probably that sleeve in lovely clean condition. I'll of course leave the shrink on. There's a Rumours, does have the insert. Very clean, tidy copy of Tusk. Had a quick look at the vinyl. Doesn't look like it's been played. And there's Mirage. And so that's the 13 Fleetwoods, and there's a couple of extras. Peter Green in the Skies, that is the green vinyl version. And Buckingham Nicks, which the catalogue indicates is a 1977 reissue. It's on Polydor. Now, I've never listened to this album. This is my chance to listen to it. And the last lot I bought was the lot of 24, including these Bowies. That's an early pressing. Unfortunately, it doesn't include the poster. Nor indeed does no poster with The Man Who Sold the World. That sleeve is a bit scruffy. Quite often is with that title. Still good to have. This, however, is very nice. It's a first of an early pressing, not a first, an early pressing of Hunky Dory. Does have the lyrics insert. Again, a very early pressing of Ziggy Stardust. Very clean, excellent condition vinyl. A little bit of wear to the pin-up sleeve, as there often is. There's gatefold early pressing of Aladdin Sane. Has the correct inner sleeve of Diamond Dogs. Young Americans. This is a reissue of Low, and the sleeve has a nasty tear there, which is a shame, but it is what it is. The vinyl's decent. Then this is a reissue. And this is a reissue of Lodger. Doesn't come in a gatefold sleeve. There's a nice clean copy of Scary Monsters. Very clean copy of Andy Warhol. This is a 1972 pressing, marketed by Polydor. There's an Eco solo album. This looks to be a first pressing. Title is The End. Fully laminated sleeve. There's a reissue of Transformer. Very clean. A couple of T-Rex titles. It's Electric Warrior. Got excited when I saw the sticker. Poster not inside. However, vinyl again looks about VG+. It's Greatest Hits comp. And the Roxys again. These are all first pressings. First album. Always good to have. There's a couple of Enos. Here come the Warm Jets. And no pussyfooting with Fripp. And the lot finished up with some Brian Ferry, Phil Manzanera, and Andy Mackay solo albums. It indicated in the catalogue this was 24 titles. There's actually 26 in this lot, which is great. Thanks for watching. This is the first video I've done of this type for a while. If you like this sort of content, please give the video a thumbs up.